North Island.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when the government announced its cuts to ferry services last year, community leaders in the Cariboo knew it was a bad idea. So a working group made up of the tourism industry, business owners and local politicians came down to Victoria to meet with 3 ministers and tell them why. But as Jason Rill, the past president of the Williams Lake and District Chamber of Commerce tells it, and I quote, "We were met with disdain." To the Minister of Transportation, the government didn't consult, then it didn't listen to people across the province who warned it would be the disaster it's proven to be. I'd like the Minister to tell this House whether he's done any study at all on the economic impact of ending Route 40.
Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I certainly always appreciate questions from the member for North Coast, particularly as related to the ferry service, North Island, for the ferry service in this province. And as I have said on numerous occasions previously, Honourable Speaker, there indeed have been tough decisions that we've had to make to ensure that the ferry service is sustainable and affordable. And, Honourable Speaker, this side of the House certainly understands that there is a direct correlation between the affordability factor and the number of passengers that use the service. And that is why, in addition to a record level of investment from this government in BC Ferries, last fiscal, $180 million, that is why, in addition to supporting BC Ferries' efforts to achieve over $54 million in operational efficiencies, we are also working with BC Ferries on a wide array of other initiatives, all focused on driving down the cost of ferry service in this province. Honourable Speaker, it would be nice if, for once, we could hear from the member from North Island and her colleagues. If there is one concept, one initiative, whether it's be conversion to LNG propulsion, whether it's evaluating fixed links, whether it's looking at alternative technologies, whether it's looking to drive new revenue opportunities. It would be nice, Honourable Speaker, if the member for North Island would stand up in this House and tell us what their ideas are to ensure a sustainable and affordable ferry service in this province.
Member for North Island on a supplemental.
I take that as... I take that as a no, Madam Speaker, that they didn't make any economic studies and they made these, what the Minister calls tough decisions, based purely on supposition and no hard information. What a way to run an economy, Madam Speaker. Jason Rill, who was with the Chamber of Commerce, was the past president of a Chamber of Commerce, with his working group thought that the minister might want to have a few facts at his hand, a strange idea, obviously, and so tried to explain to the minister about the number of vehicles that actually use the route, the number of people who are using the route. But those facts that the working group brought to the minister were, Mr. Rill said, met with disdain. And the reaction from the government was, instead of having a real conversation about how to get this economy working in the Central Coast, said, basically, thank you for your information, now out the door. So again, to the Minister of Transportation, maybe he'll have the courtesy to respond to the question this time. If he's not going to listen to the individuals or communities or politicians, will he listen to the economic analysis of chambers of commerce and fix the cuts? Chambers of commerce who know what is happening to their local economies. And
members will come to order, please. Please continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Will he listen to the Chambers of Commerce who know the local economy and fix the mistakes that he has made in cutting this service?
Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Well, it's refreshing to hear that perhaps there actually is a willingness on the other side of the floor to engage with chambers of commerce and And Honourable Speaker, I will remind the members opposite that the route in question, Route 40, was losing $7.35 million per year. The vehicles on that ship were being subsidized to the tune of $2,500 per vehicle. $2,500 per vehicle, and this was to move between 500 and 600 vehicles on the direct shot from Port Hardy to Bella Coola. Now, Honourable Speaker, we don't believe that that's sustainable. Now, Honourable Speaker, this past summer, I decided to take my family on the Discovery Coast Circle tour, and we went on the Nimkish, and we enjoyed the voyage, and we talked to tourists from all over the world that were on the ship who were enjoying the voyage, Honourable Speaker, and I would ask the member from North Island this. While I was out touring on the Nimkish and the Discovery Coast Circle tour, out of my own pocket, by the way, why was the member for North Island choosing to use that time to tour around on Washington State ferries and billing $1,900 of expenses to the taxpayers of British Columbia?
Vancouver Fairview.
Honourable Speaker, not only do we listen to chambers of commerce, unlike the minister, we listen to the Chamber of Commerce when they point out that his figures of 500 vehicles using Route 40 don't correspond with BC Ferry's own figures of 2,643 vehicles. And when we listen to them, we don't treat them with disdain. Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, international tourism operators.
Members, just wait a moment, please. Members, please continue.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. International tourism operators told this government that shutting Route 40 just before the tourist season was a terrible idea. But again, the government didn't listen. Now, as Patrick Corbett of the Hills Health Ranch and 108 Mile Ranch put it, the international wholesalers who sell British Columbia are nothing short of being flat out angry. They're angry that the route was cut at short notice, and doubly angry that the government is trying to sell the trip aboard the Nimkish as a viable alternative, a vessel where someone in a wheelchair can't even access the washroom. To the minister, initial figures show tourism is down 70% on some parts of this route because of the government's reckless actions. Will the government acknowledge that this has a significant impact on the province's economy and reinstate a comprehensive circle route?
Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Well, I think the first thing that would be helpful here would be an acknowledgement from the opposition members that every single time they run down this service, and they call out the Nimkish and they make outrageous claims about the quality of the service that's actually provided. Every time they do that, they're actually damaging the tourism brand in British Columbia. Now, it might also be useful. It might also be useful, Honourable Speaker, if they were actually to get out and experience this service. If they were actually to go and do it, experience it firsthand, they would discover that the Nimkish has been upgraded. The amenities are much more comfortable. There's a nice selection of food available. The staff are friendly. Honourable Speaker, when I was on board with my wife and my 3 daughters, again as part of a family vacation, I actually took a moment to take a look at the guest book that was on board. And Honourable Speaker, in the guest book there were entries from people all over the world since this service was changed. And Honourable Speaker, here's what Ms. Steiger from Switzerland had to say. They expected the trip to be uneventful, but were pleasantly surprised. We saw dolphins, we had great food, we had beverage service. It was a stunning and wonderful landscape. Greetings for Switzerland. We will do this trip again. Honourable Speaker, they ought to help get the good word out about this service.
Vancouver Fairview on a supplemental.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. It would be great for the tourism operators in the Cariboo and the coast if they could live off the minister's fantasies, but unfortunately they can't. As Mr. Corbett explained, these international operators don't just sell trips to BC, they sell trips to destinations worldwide. In other words, Honourable Speaker, they have choices. As Mr. Corbett put it, when you're mad at somebody, you look at other people to spend time with. Madam Speaker, we already know that over the course of a decade, our province lost $2.3 billion thanks to this government's repeated ferry fare hikes. To the Minister, how much more business will Cariboo and Central Coast tourism lose before this government listens to the people whose livelihoods you've put on the chopping block?
Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure.
Honourable Speaker, I will await with bated breath to hear the personal experience of the member for Vancouver Fairview or the member for Vancouver for North Island or any of the members opposite, who actually I would encourage to get out and actually do this service. The Discovery Coast Circle Tour is still very much intact, and Honourable Speaker, it's a viable tourism product. The ship has been retrofitted. The schedules have been synced. There is food on board. Honourable Speaker, we're on this side of the House. We have extended our hand to the tourism associations and to small businesses through the Bella Coola and the Chilcotin. My colleague, the Minister of Small Business and Tourism, has been there and has met with a number of the operators. I was there and met with folks as well. Honourable Speaker, the sooner the members opposite stop running down this service, the sooner we can actually tell the world about what a first-class tourism product this continues to be.